Welcome. In today's video, you and I will uncover the 3 steps that will take you right into the mindset of the 1% Club. So let's go. And what is the 1% Club, you might ask? Well, you can look at it in different ways, and I guess a lot of people do. But in my optics, the 1% are the people who are in the top 1% income earning category. Now, then you might say, well, Anders, you measured in money. Well, yes, but it's not about the money. The money is an expression of the level of service that you provide. This year, my CPA, my accountant, let me know that I technically belong in the 1% income group here in the United States. And I'm not saying that for you to say, well, that's well done, Anders, or to boost a false sense of ego. I did that in the entertainment industry for years and years, and it gave me nothing but headache and illness and stress and everything else. No, I'm saying that to illustrate a contrast. You see, in 2006, when I arrived here in the United States with nothing but a few $100s in my pocket and 2 suitcases and a deck of cards, that is a far cry from the results today, and is a big contrast. And well, then your mind jumps to, well, then it must have taken you all those years. It really didn't. You see, I lived in ignorance for the vast majority of those years. It's not until the last maybe handful of years that things really picked up steam. And those 3 things today are really important for you to collapse the time frame and create more influence, and if you want, belong to the top income earning group of people in whatever country you live in. And again, it's about the freedom, it's about the influence, it's about where you can give, where you can donate, and the difference that you're making. So let's first start off by recognizing the vast majority of people that belong to a category they don't really want to be in when you ask them. Like, we're getting results we don't want, we are complaining about the results we don't want, and yet we keep staying stuck there. Why is that? Well, for me, it was ignorance. It was absolutely not knowing. You see, there's 4 steps to ridding yourself of that ignorance and those blind spots. First, you go from unconscious incompetent. That means you don't know you don't know. That's where like 99% of people are. They don't know, and they keep doing the same thing. Then you watch a video like this, you attend a seminar, you get into growth circles, you read a book, and then you become a conscious incompetent. Now you are conscious of the fact that you are incompetent. That's the step I went through when I attended my first event with Bob Proctor. I became consciously aware that I was incompetent in my health, in my finances, and every aspect of my life. Then you keep studying, you keep moving ahead, and you keep developing yourself, and that will take you to a conscious competent. Now you become consciously aware of how you become more competent, and you apply those tools, and you start seeing a change in result. And that will take you to the 4th step, which is unconscious competent in the end, where you don't have to think about it. It's not a conscious effort. Success is just a part of your mental habitual ways of looking at yourself and the world, and you become a health generating, money making, awareness developing machine, and that will take you to the 1% Club or wherever else you want to go. So you can really break it down into 3 reasons. So we talk about awareness being the main reason as to why people don't get better results, but let's break it down further. So the first reason as to why most people stay stuck in the unconscious incompetent category is they don't have any goals. They may think they have goals, but when you really probe them and ask them, it turns out they don't. They have no clear idea of where they're heading. I want more freedom. I want better health. I want more money. That's not goals. That are general life circumstances that most people want but never end up achieving. Without a clear goal, you won't have desire. Desire in Latin actually means giving birth to. Giving birth to what? Your idea, your goal. Bob Proctor asked me back in 2016, what do you really want? So think about it. From 2006 to 2016, I was broke, I was unhappy, sick, nothing worked. So I spent 10 years being an unconscious incompetent. And he started with the question, what do you really want? I said, well, I want to earn more money. That's not a goal. What do you really want? You see, what I really wanted was to take what I had learned in entertainment and merge it with personal development. That's what I really wanted. And he goes, that's where we're going to start. If that's what you really want, that becomes your goal. Now, desire started to follow that goal. And you see, this is important because with that desire comes a certain level of willingness to take risks, because that is what's required too for you to go from 99% to the 1%. And the second reason as to why they stay stuck is they're following the follower. That was me for years and years. I followed the people around me who were busy following each other. I mean, how can you expect to get better results in that arena if you become the environment that you are surrounded by and you don't consciously choose another environment? You're going to stay there, right? So they follow the follower. And the third reason as to why most people don't move out of that category is pure habit. It's just a habitual way of going about their life, and they have not learned how to change that programming at the core. So let's talk about now the three main characteristics of the person belonging to the 1% group as I see it. So back to goal setting, they set goals. They're goal achieving machines. When I set a goal, I latch onto it. I don't give it up. Like my little dog Lola, when she gets a bone, she won't let it go. So you need to become a dog with a bone, like my good friend Peggy McCall always says. You know, goal setting and goal achievement is essential. If you don't have goals, you will drift. And we've seen that, how people start drifting through life. And we don't have to go very far. Look back to what happened in 2020 when fear was sold at mass all over the world. The people that had goals made it through those years better than before. You know, we had participants who said that's going to be the best year I've ever had. And they had the best year in 25 years because they just don't let anything from the outside affect their thinking. Their goal was planted so firmly in their mind that that's what's generated their thinking. And the same for me. Our results just keep improving because I make decisions, determinations, taking risks from the goal. So you need to have a goal. That is the number one prerequisite for you to get into the 1% category, or 5% category, or whatever percent you want to get into. As long as you don't stay in the 99%, then we're good. And the second personality trait of people who belong to the 1% are they have a healthy self-image. They have great thoughts about themselves. They like themselves. For 20 years, I didn't like myself. I did not like myself. I was not a good friend with me. But as I started changing that self-image, literally writing out the way I wanted to see me, how healthy I was, how much of a friend I was to myself, how much I respected me, how happy and grateful I was, how proud I was for my achievements, how much I loved to earn money by serving people. You see, I always felt unworthy. That's why I never had any. When I had an opportunity to take out a credit card, the moment I did, the more debt I just put myself in, because I wasn't worthy of having money in the account. So the moment I could, I just put a lot of debt on there because I just wasn't comfortable around money. So your self-image will make you comfortable with that idea. Why do you think people belonging to the 1% love to talk about influence and how they can affect the world in a positive way, how they love earning money, whereas people in a broke category, they can't stand the concept. Oh, they're just bragging, they're just talking about money to show off. What? No. We talk about money because it's an important aspect of life, and it's what makes you able to serve more people. It's what makes you able to donate more. That's why we're in love with the idea of circulation, not money itself. I think that's where most people go wrong. Well, the Bible say, the love of money is the root of all evil. Well, no, it didn't. It said the love of money, not money itself. Money itself is just an energy, like everything else is energy, right? So a healthy self-image will become a good friend with the idea of circulation. I love giving and donating. In fact, it gives me more joy than earning it, to be honest with you. But that's the second aspect of personality trait of the person belonging to the 1%, is a healthy self-image and a fast decision-making capability. What does that mean? Napoleon Hill wrote the classic Think and Grow Rich, and he concluded after studying 500 of the world's most successful people at the time that those people make fast decisions. They change them rarely, if ever at all. Where people can't make up their mind about what they want and they change their decisions as the wind is blowing, they don't get very far. So you want to make that part of your habitual way of thinking. You want to build a healthy self-image and give yourself 10 seconds maximum to make a decision. You don't need the resources. You don't need the money. None of that is important. You just need to decide on what you want. And the word decision actually comes from the Latin root day and kite year. Day meaning from and kite year meaning to cut. So decision making is not saying, I wish that this and this happens at some point. I have decided, I just need this to change. That's not decision making. Decision making is cutting yourself away from any other possibility. And so you see risk taking now comes into the picture, because when you're cutting yourself away from any other possibility, you become a pretty good decision maker, and you also become a risk taker. And you have to become a risk taker. If you're not willing to take calculated risk, you will not, almost with certainty, belong to the 1%. So to recap here, goal setting is the first step to a healthy self-image and a fast decision-making skill set. And that will take you to the third aspect of a person belonging to the 1%, and that is risk taking. There's a difference between being irresponsible and taking calculated risk for sure. But if I had not taken a calculated risk of leaving my home country of Denmark with literally nothing, like I said before, I wouldn't be here. If I hadn't taken a calculated risk to leave my comfortable career in entertainment in favor of what I'm doing now, I wouldn't be here. Was it scary? Yeah. I walked off a cruise ship after having made that decision, saying that was my last show here. I was willing to go back driving Uber, which I did for a little while, to make ends meet. I was willing to go back to eating rice and beans, and I was willing to go back to not knowing where my next paycheck was going to come from to do this. Was that a risk? Yes, it was. It was a big risk. Then I had rebuilt my career in this industry. I had built a very healthy coaching business. I was generating over $1 million a year, but I knew I was going to want to work with Bob Proctor. I wanted to create a program with him, not being a consultant for him, creating a program with him. And I knew I had to slash everything, give everything up for me to be able to do that. You have to clean the plate. My attorney thought I was crazy. My accountant tried to save me from myself. Was that a risk as well? Yes, it was. So you see, at every level, you have to take risk, and it's not easy because you have your environment, you have your lack of goals or commitment to them, and everything else coming from the outside trying to divert you. And then you have people warning you. And interestingly enough, the people that warn you are the people who also belong to the 99%. Everybody was warning me, oh, is it getting rich quick scheme? Is it this, isn't that? Well, do these people even know what they're talking about? They're stuck in a job they don't like, they're getting results they don't want, and they're afraid to be fired, and they're warning me? What? No. I'm going to make up my own mind. And so it's the people that warn you that are stuck in a trap that they don't want. Nobody warned me about that trap. For 20 years, nobody warned me about the mediocrity trap, the follow the follower trap. Nobody warned me about that one. Interestingly enough, isn't it? No. When you meet a person who belongs to the 1%, they will tell you, of course you can do it. They will help you. They will guide you. That's why I'm always a big proponent of having a mentor. I would not be here. If I didn't have a mentor that belonged to the 1%, I would not have been able to create that result myself. No way. So don't think that more of the same will give you better results. More of the same will give you more of the same. So to recap, you got to get very serious about your growth, about your goals and your environment. I would encourage you to find a mentor today. Make a list of 5 people that have the results that you want. Maybe they're in the health category that you want to be in. Maybe they're in an income category you want to be in. Maybe they are a business owner that have great results and they have results to show for it. And so that's why you want to be aligned with them. Whomever you choose to follow, make sure it's a person who actually have the results and not just somebody who's learned to talk about it. Plenty of those around, especially here on YouTube these days. Just words. That's ChatGPT, it's words, it's just noise in my. What you want to do is build your awareness, build it with people around you that have done what you want to do and do exactly as they're telling you. It's illogical. If it's good coaching, it will be illogical. Because had it been logical, you would already have been doing it, right? So that's my recommendation to you today. Seek out 5 people that have the results you want and align with them. Do everything you can to be around them. And if I happen to be one of them, I'd be privileged and honored. If that's the case, then you can click below. There's tons of resources you can access that will help you build those awareness levels, rid yourself of the mental illusions, and get going on your path towards your goal. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. Thank you so much for watching this video. I have linked to a couple more right here that I think you would like. Now, until next time, it's not who you are that holds you back. It's all the illusions of who you think you're not. This is Hansen. Thank you.